Where's Keenan at? What do you think about Sunday?
Yeah, Keenan's going to be more of a game time decision, but closer. Had a good week. Was in practice, not only individual, Bridget, but during team. And that was important to play 11 on 11. Get that unchoreographed movement of having to beat someone man to man, having to go feel what it's like to block someone, get that resistance and stuff. So it was a good day today, and we'll see how he responds tomorrow. But that'll be more of a game time decision.
How do you balance obviously wanting him back, but also knowing you have the bye week coming afterwards? If he doesn't play this week, it really turns into 2 weeks off to continue to let the hamstring you.
Yeah, Daniel. We've come this far, so patience is a virtue. We won't put him out there unless we know that he can go. How much he goes, I think, obviously it's his first game back, so there'll be some type of pitch count. I mean, with his first game back, if he goes, but we'll just see. But if there's any apprehension, then he won't go.
What about Sebastian?
Sebastian will go. He'll go. I think it's, in the injury report he's going to be limited or whatever, but he's a rugged guy. He's not going to miss this one.
How much have you missed what Keenan gives you?
Oh, a lot. I mean, Keenan has 4 straight seasons of 100 catches. He's one of the top separators in the game, one of the most productive players at his position of the last 10 years. So, and he's a team leader. And, what he allows you to do in all ways is just change the math and how people play you. And so, to get him back will be really big for us.
Brandon, have you guys made a decision on Larry Roundtree or Isaiah Spiller for Sunday?
Going to be Isaiah Spiller for the game.
Brandon, just curious, I know it probably doesn't directly affect you, but when there's a major blockbuster trade in the league, do you have a reaction to that?
No.
What's your level of confidence in the receivers if Keenan can't go, if Josh Palmer can't go, kind of those guys behind him?
Yeah, Bridget, the guys that'll be at the game, I think the good thing is we know them. We know what they do well. And I think anytime you have 1 or 2 receivers out, you got to make sure that you fill in that production other places with your tight ends and your backs. And so that's what I think our coaching staff does a good job is like, hey, these are the players that we get to play with. Let's go figure it out together. And the good news is that Justin has a rapport with all those guys that are coming out there. So whenever their number is called, at least our quarterback has a trust and confidence in them.
What would be the plan at receiver if Keenan, obviously Josh is out, but if Keenan can't go, you'd have 3 guys there on the active roster. Like who would fill in? Bandy's had obviously 3 elevations at this point. We get Joe Reed.
Yeah, there would have to be some procedural stuff to get Mike back up, but that's what would take place.
And then the 5th one, do you have an idea of who that would be if Keenan can't go?
Not at this point, no. We're going to work through that in the next couple days.
A lot of moving parts to win 3 straight, but if you kind of sum it up, how would you describe what your team's been able to do since starting 1 and 2?
Stay together, and I think figure it out. That's how I would describe it.
J.C. Jackson said that the last couple weeks have kind of taken a toll mentally. How have you seen him respond during practice throughout the week and just how he's been doing?
Black practiced well this week, and been really proud of his preparation and the way he's bounced back, and that's all we can ask for the guy. And like I said, the best is to come for him, and getting him in that rhythm, in that comfort zone, him being the player that he is, and doing it for us. And we've worked really hard with him this week. I've been proud of the way he's bounced back, and now I'm excited to see him compete against a really good bunch of skill players.
The way things went with Josh Palmer on Monday, it was the early incident in the game. He ended up playing 81 snaps. Obviously, it's not a perfect scenario that it's science, it's medicine. Is it concerning at all, though, that despite everything the league's tried to do to really mitigate concussion situation, that something like that can still happen, where a guy can go through an entire game and then not have symptoms until a couple of days later?
Yeah, Jeff, I mean, of the utmost importance, and one of the serious topics since I've been a part of the NFL, and I know the amount of investment to make progress and to keep making progress and to never quit on this topic because it's so important. But yeah, Jeff, I mean, I think all the clubs in the league are trying to do everything they can, and I think you just know that this sport and sports like it, that it's tough. It's tough to be perfect, and all you can try and do is, be intentional with your process to get it right. And I think every day we learn more and more, and I think as long as everybody in the NFL is committed to doing it right and making sure the protocols are in place that everybody agrees upon. And then when you agree upon it, knowing that you're probably going to have to change it down the road to make it better. And that's all we can do as a league is do everything we can for these players and their families to know that we're thinking about them. And, I know that that's where we stand as a club, and that's what we're going to keep trying to do.
The way that went down, so on Wednesday when you heard about it, were you surprised that he suddenly had this, or was it something in the back of your mind you thought was a possibility?
Yeah, I mean, you're always surprised because you just go by what happens in the game, and then but I think when I say surprised, you're learning all the time about how this can happen. This isn't the only time that this has happened, where someone would express, more symptoms after the ball game. And I think that's what I said too. I think you guys, myself, people in the NFL every day, we're learning more and more. And it's important that we learn together so we can create something where these players know that everyone's trying to keep them at the front of all the decisions that we make.
What would it mean for your team to win 4 straight going into the bye week?
I think it just would mean that our team is really stuck together, Lindsay, and that we've tried really hard to figure it out. I think Seattle's an excellent team, and we know that what we're facing on Sunday at 125. We know that we're facing a really good football team and coming off a really big win, and we're going to need to be at our best, Lindsay. That group of guys, that 48 players that's at the game, we're going to really have to take the field with the right type of energy, with the right type of purpose, and not try to feel our way into anything. Be ready to play from the first snap because this team's really good.
How are you feeling first week off the injury report? Obviously, you were a full participant the past couple of weeks, but to have that kind of gone, are you feeling better?
I think with time it's felt better. I think over the past couple of weeks it's gotten better and just hanging in there, and thankful for my offensive line for keeping me upright.
Are you more comfortable moving outside the pocket at this stage because you're able to get out and scramble for a first in that game Monday night? Just are you moving better? Do you feel are you more comfortable in those situations?
I think it's gotten better over the past couple of weeks, and if I felt like it wasn't safe to go out and play, I think that would have affected it in the first couple of weeks since then. But I felt like it was safe to go out there and play, and I was going to play the way I wanted to play and play the way that I needed to play. So it felt good out there.
Are there any more limitations?
For what?
Do you think that there's any limitations for you still with the injury?
No, I think it's just continuing to progress, get better, do everything I can to rehab, to get treatment and take care of my body. And, I don't think anyone's feeling great. It's the NFL. It's obviously very tough on your body. But as long as you're staying ahead of that and getting after it, I think you can limit those.
When you look at Tariq Woolen on film, he's a big, lengthy corner. What have you seen from him when you guys check that out?
He's a very good playmaker, and that's very apparent over the past couple of games. And he's done a great job all year of playing corner and being up and aggressive on guys. And he's caused a lot of turnovers, and that's what you want from a corner. And so to be able to see that on film, you definitely have to be aware of him on the field.
You're facing a former teammate in Keenan Allen. When you look at the way he's pass rushing, he has 3 sacks on the season, and he's kind of forced a couple of fumbles. Just what have you seen from him?
Yeah, you said it great right there. Chenna was a great teammate. He's a great friend, and it is a little weird going up against him. I wish him nothing but the best. But I remember all the times, the great times that we had together as Chargers, and you definitely miss him. But glad that he's doing well.
Justin, how you evaluate the red zone offense so far through 6 games?
I think we've done a good job. There's always room for improvement. I think we've done a good job of moving the ball up and down the field, and obviously you'd love to score as many points as you can. But we played a good defense last week, and so we're going to have to do our best to just have a good plan, execute, and try and put up as many points as we can.
You guys got off to a bit of a slow start in the red zone last year early on, through the first 4 weeks. Does that, the fact that you guys were able to rectify that and get better sort of as the season went along in the red zone, give you confidence now that it's going to come around at some point in terms of the red zone efficiency?
Yeah, do you mind telling me what the numbers were?
Yeah, you were 53% through the first 4 weeks last year.
Okay, where were we at?
Ended up now you're at 48.
48%. It's a long season. There's a lot of football, and we're going to do everything we can to put up as many points as we can. And obviously, we've been down a couple of guys. Losing Keenan is never going to help you, and so we've got to be better. We've got to put up points in the red zone, and thankful for Dustin Hopkins last week stepping up big time and getting us just enough points to win the game. And I think that's kind of important too. Sometimes is it doesn't have to be pretty. You don't have to put up super amounts of points or stats, but as long as you're getting the job done, I think that's the most important part.
How's your chemistry?
How much more dynamic is your offense when you get Keenan to throw to?
Keenan's a special player, and it's always tough replacing a guy like that. But I felt like the guys behind him stood up, and they did a great job in his absence. DeAndre Carter, Josh Palmer, those guys stepped up big time, and to have those guys out there and to maybe have Keenan out there, I think it's super helpful for the quarterback.
How's your chemistry with the guys behind? Keenan, if he can't play, if Josh can't play on Sunday, the guys that maybe you don't get tons of reps with until a week like this pops up. What is that like, having that week with them?
I think it's been great because that's where the training camp reps come to play. And you've been able to throw with those guys all year, and to get a guy like Michael Bandy, Jason Moore, you throw with them all during camp, and you might not get a bunch of reps during the week of practice, but to have those reps, you're able to go back to those and trust those and rely on those guys when they step in.